Hey, what's up, y'all? Um, I typically don't do these type of videos, but I'm going to start changing around the content on this YouTube channel. And what I want, and the reason I'm doing it is because one, I've had two different companies, and those companies, one went bankrupt because I had a license for a sneaker company that I didn't own a license, and the license could be pulled at any time. And when they pulled the license, they changed the name of the company and they took away any of the benefits that I had kind of generated for the company. This was back in 2007, 2008. And I've talked about that and I wrote it in a book, but I really didn't do anything with those books. And I know you guys like get to the point. If you're just going to sit here and watch this is not going to be exciting or like all engrossing or encompassing. What I'm attempting to show you guys is what it looks like to go broke. And the second time I basically went broke was because I took a series of loans and they didn't require credit checks. If there's any point, I'm not an analyst, I'm not somebody that's qualified or accredited, or I don't do this for a living. I'm simply telling you based on my personal experience. If there's any point that you have the opportunity to take a loan of any kind and it doesn't require a credit check, don't do it. This is why it more than likely predatory lending is when people really prey on someone. In some instances, it's not that they prey on you, it's that they prey on your ignorance. And because you may have a need for money or income, you may find yourself in a position where you're like, all right, I need to go and find some money. But this is the thing. You can't rush into that. You need to understand, if you're an LLC or if you're a sole proprietorship, you need to understand that your business, it has to build slowly. There's no quick solution to where you're trying to go. You simply have to do the work that it takes to get there. All right. And I know that sounds like just kind of cliche and hearsay, but I was looking at this PayPal working capital, and it quite possibly is the worst thing I've ever seen. So if you are sitting down and you're considering doing it, don't. Um, Let me go to this and show you. So I went ahead and put in, because I wanted to see what it looked like, because I know I've been through this before. And if I'm here, I'm at 67,000, so we're 30 days. So the past 30 days, if we go to past 90 days, we look at the income over the past 90 days, and it's down 17% from the previous year. So the past 30 days, it's been up, but as you guys know, I'm into resale and retail, and I analyze stuff and I give out the information on the website. But if you're generating X amount of dollars, you need to understand your profit margin. But when you go in and you start thinking about getting a business loan, go to traditional banking locations. Do not utilize PayPal working capital. And this is why. Okay, so I put in to see how much I would be approved for. Now, if I'm doing 67,000 a month, let's look at a 60-day average, 114,000. So I'm probably at about 54,000 average, right? I have an average sale of $114 is the average sale on 1,000 transactions. That's over 60 days. We'll go back to 30 days, and you'll see why they approved me for up to $90,000. But that's not the point. There's no way I'm going to do this loan, because I want you guys to see when you go to customize, here's the details. If you take the $90,000, 30% of sales, and this is the one-time fee. I need you to understand how bad this is. Now, if you go down to the 37,500, which you see down here at the bottom, 37,500, right? It will unlock here, and they will take 10% of your sales. Now, if my margin, let's say on $117 for a sale, and my margin is 25%, right? So you would say my margin is 25%, 25% of the number 117, and we calculate, and that's $29.25. Now here's what's important. Now, if I know I'm getting $29.25, and I have to go to a calculator here, and I'm going to open up a calculator just to do some math. 117, and let's say I'm selling on some platform and the fees are 9%, right? At 9%, then you're talking about on $100, 9% is $9 dollars, right? So you're talking $9. But let's say there's a transaction, so there's 12%. 12% would make it a $12 drop. So that would be minus 12 that goes to the company and to the processing fee, which would leave me with $105, right? So I have to pay for packaging and stuff like that. And let's drop that down another $3. And that puts us at $102, right? So now I'm at $102, and this is the profit. But I haven't told you how much I paid for this item. What if I paid for this item, and I'm saying I'm at 25% profit? I paid $75, so let's minus 75, and we are now at $27, correct? So PayPal doesn't see the $117. What they don't see what I put into it. What they see is $117, which means they're going to take $11.70. And at 10% of all sales, $11.70 sounds like you're going to win, right? So you're like, all right, I'm at $11.70. That means I'm at $15.30. So I make $15.30 profit. Everything looks all fantastic and great, but then you realize you have house bills, you have a car note if you have a car note. If you don't, I don't have a car note, but you have all of these different things. But if you're only at 15.30 on transactions and you have 577 transactions times 577, it shows $8,000. But if your household expenses come out to about $10,000, I have a son in college. It costs $5,000 a month for the college. Household bills are about $4,000. I'm actually negative. So when I go in to take this PayPal working capital, they are charging a one-time fee of $7,601. So let's go back to the percentage calculator and go 7601, right, is what percentage of 37,500, right? Is what percentage of 37,500. Now, why am I doing this? That's a 20% interest rate. 20% interest rate. Any bank that you're going to, the worst that you're going to get out of a bank is probably going to be about 6 to 9%. And that's horrible. It's horrible. All right. The PayPal working capital is a trap. Literally, it's a trap. So you are setting yourself up to put yourself in a position where you're going to go into the negative if your bills reach a certain amount. Now, the only reason I'm doing this is because, and I need to make sure I save and exit because I'm going to let this thing expire because it expires soon. And I'm like, all right, cool. And I'm going to close that out because I don't want to make a mistake and hit the button and accept that because it would completely destroy any momentum I have in my business. I'm simply doing this video to show you guys that a 20% interest rate, it may look good on the surface, but do not ever, ever, ever take on any loan that puts you into that kind of position. I know from experience because in 2014, I used a company called Kabbage, and Kabbage, they took the money out of the account and the repayment term was 6 months. So if they gave me $40,000, and it had a breakdown of 30%, 30%, 10, 10, 10, 10. So that's 40% at the end of it at 10%, 10%. But that initial payment at 30% on a $40,000 loan, 30% of 40,000. Let's see if we can do that real quick, right? So 30% of 40,000, and we're going to hit that. And that's a $12,000 payment on the first payment. So when I took out that loan, my first payment was $12,000. It was a revolving line of credit. That $12,000 was literally all of the profit that I made for that month back in 2014, 2015. It's a terrible, terrible situation to be in. I don't give financial advice. I'm not some guru. I'm not going to come on here. Somebody's like, well, how much money do you make a year? I'll tell you, you can see it. All of my payments and everything goes through PayPal. So I could do 2022 and it'll show you how much I've made this year. And I'm down. I'm not rich. And I'm explaining things in a way. I'm down 48% year over year. So from 2021 till this year, I'm down almost $200,000. This is not something to highlight how well off I am or anything else. Obviously, we're not at the end of the year, but by the time we go from there to this, dude, that's a huge, gigantic drop off. And I'm trying to make sure other people don't run into what I've run into in the past. I'd be a terrible person if I didn't start doing videos like this because I've gone through so much and I want people to become smarter. I've always said that. And if I need to change the channel over to talk about these kind of things, I will. I have young guys that I work with. I know you guys are like, man, you're getting a bunch of notifications. I got a bunch of young guys that I work with, and I talk to them about this stuff every day. And I say young like they're younger than me. They're not that much younger than I am. But I'm older. I've gone through a lot more, and I try to explain things so people learn from it. Learn from my mistakes. If I have to do these kind of videos, I will. I don't mind. I'll open up the books. I'll show you everything so you can see why you should and shouldn't make certain business decisions. All right. I hope that was helpful. I don't even know why I decided to do this. Probably because I was sitting and talking with one of the little homies, and he was like, yo, I'm thinking about doing this loan. And I was like, all right, you know what? I'll go in and see how much I can get. And he was on his PayPal, and he was like, you know, I'm going to do it because they're going to give me $15,000. I was like, yeah, but think about these fees. And he didn't realize what those fees were, and he hadn't even paid attention to that initial fee. Talk to people. If you've been through a bunch of crap in your business life, don't be selfish and keep that information to yourself. Share it with younger dudes, man. Help them to avoid the pitfalls that you had so that they can be greater than you. That's it. I'll see you guys on the next one. Back to sneakers, man. I may start doing this. I may go into these books that I wrote. We'll see. Peace.